We're three-quarters of the way through 2021, and there's no escaping the fact that the pandemic is not as big a story as it once was. Of course, it still dominates our lives in so many ways, but things have improved, and in many parts of the world, we've learned how to live with the virus. That, however, can lead to complacency. So let's just check some of the numbers. Our information, as ever, from Our World in Data at the University of Oxford. This is a timeline since the start of the year. Darker colours mean more infections, and what's important to notice as time goes on is that those darker colours still persist and occasionally pop up in new places. We're in July, August here. Look at Canada, look at the US, Brazil, Australia even coming into play there as cases go up. Which leads us to this point, the Johns Hopkins University COVID tracker. As of the start of October, nearly 234 million cases worldwide, 4.78 million deaths, but also 6.2 billion vaccine doses, the number in green, and we'll take a closer look at that in a moment. First, though, I want to check the daily cases in a few select countries, starting with the United States. Here we go. You remember the highs, up around 250,000 cases a day at the start of the year. It's gone right down, though, since the summer, back up again to a point where we're looking at about 110,000 cases a day still in the United States. In the UK, this is the point where the UK relaxed its restrictions and cases started to go down, but popping up again to the point where we're at about 35,000 cases still a day. By comparison, the European Union, of course, the UK no longer a part of that, has seen a big decline, started to increase over the summer, but now at a point of about 44,000 cases a day for the whole European Union, and we've seen a lot of relaxing of restrictions across a lot of European countries. A couple of others to look at quickly. Brazil, which had such a terrible time. The data is a little erratic, I do have to say, out of Brazil, but here we're looking at about 16,000 cases a day in Brazil. It's come right down. And India, this is extraordinary, 350,000 cases plus a day back in April. Terrible time they were having in India. Right now, we're only looking at about 25,000 cases a day there. Contrast all of that with what we're seeing in somewhere like Australia at the moment, which for so long, look at that whole period through the start of the year, very few cases there, really just incoming travelling cases. And since July, up and up and up to the point of about 1,800 cases a day. And they're looking at reopening in November as well, don't forget that. Now, a big part of that reopening, and in so many other countries, comes down to vaccinations. And when we have a little look, this is, I know, a lot of data here, but it shows some of the countries which have done really well here. Top of the list there, United Arab Emirates. The dark part of the bar is telling you about fully vaccinated people. The sort of lighter bit just towards the end there of each bar is partially vaccinated. So a lot of countries are into the 90s and 80s and 70% of vaccinations. Right down the bottom here, though, look at these African countries, Kenya, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Tanzania, all less than 5% vaccinations. And that is really illustrated in this final slide I've got for you. This whole graph is showing us all vaccinations across the world. The colours broken down by continents. So Asia, of course, there's going to be a lot of vaccination going on in Asia. All of this green here, China and India, both billion-plus populations. But look at Africa up there. That wedge, if you like, has not increased. Only 2.5% of the world's COVID vaccinations have happened on the African continent.